How's it going, Chumpy? My name is TBM and welcome back to another video. I'm finally back from holiday, so I'm going to start making some more videos for you guys. But as you may have told from the title, this isn't going to be a video about the necromancy ability. Effectively, if you watch my original update video, we talked about it, and effectively I came to the sort of prediction that it would be an auto-revive, just like how Zog acted in his storyline. That's exactly what it is. However, it's not 100% guaranteed, and effectively, I spent like 4 hours trying to get it working. I spent 2 hours before I went on holiday, and I've pretty much spent a couple hours now just trying to find Necromancer captains and then actually seeing if the ability will proc. I just can't get any gameplay of it. But of course, it would actually be a bit of a rubbish video anyway. It'd literally be like 5 minutes long. Well, not even that, probably 3 minutes to be fair. And so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to scrap doing the video because, quite frankly, I'm getting to the sort of end of my enjoyment for this game now. It's getting a little bit too repetitive and grindy for my liking now, which is a big shame actually. But to be fair, I wasn't planning on doing a lot more videos after this one. But of course, that is why I'm starting in this small sub-series now. And as I said in my last video, I'll be doing these sort of 10 or so videos, and then I'll be doing a final one where I'm going to be talking about a potential sequel for the game and my ideas. And then I'll be moving on to another game, of course, the For Honor update coming out in October, the Marching Fire one, we got the 3 new heroes, and the new game mode, so I'll have lots of content on that. And, yeah, pretty much, I'm also going to have a bit of a poll at the top right there. Technically, I am a player of Fortnite, okay? It's the game that's like the only game I play with my friends, and effectively I know it's a big it's very common nowadays for YouTubers to do it, and I was effectively saying, if you would like to see potentially some Fortnite content on the channel, then, you know, click that little thing there. If you don't really care, then I'll just leave it and just see what happens. But yeah, effectively, this new series I'm going to be starting is effectively a legendary set overview. So I'm going to be going through every single legendary set in the game, and as you see here, we're starting with the brightlord set. This series will take a lot of work, not because the editing is going to be particularly strenuous, but the fact is even though I'm max level on this playthrough, I've only got 50 legendary pieces of armor out of 72 or so. So I've still got, and of course, in order to get those legendary sets, it's just based on random chance that you get the captains that you need in order to get the gear from them. And then you've got the fact, and then effectively I want to upgrade all of that up to max levels, so level 80, so I can show you what it is at a late game sort of stance, and then give you a sort of an overview. But that will take me quite a long time. I'll have to see how it goes, really. I mean, I'm going to do this video now, of course. I'm going to be discussing the brightlord set now, and if it's not too successful, then I may just not bother doing the other ones. It's really what you guys want to have. If you guys don't want to see any more, if you want me to just do some other stuff, and not bother going through all the legendary sets, then that's cool. You can just put down in the comments down below, or just, you know, hit like, dislike sort of thing. But yeah, essentially on the screen here we just have the legendary set for the brightlord. It's like the brightlord thing. It's very, very strong. Unless, of course, you're playing at late game. It's a very interesting armor set. Of course, I'm going to be going through that in a minute when I go through all the gear pieces in a minute. But as you see, it's got a very distinct appearance, very gold-like. It looks very, very similar to the Slaughter armor and the Mystic armor, which both have that sort of flat sort of plating. And then, of course, the Mystic and the brightlord one are more goldish. And then, oh no, pretty much all of them are gold, rather. But this one in particular, as you see that, on max level, because of course the appearance changes as you level up, max level, here we go, it has a bunch of blue and purple effects on it, so it does look very cool. However, it has a hood, but it's like folded down. Come on, just give us the hood. Like, that's hoods look infinitely better on Tally in this game. Like, it's the one thing that really triggers me about, for say, like the Warmonger set. The Armor of War, although it's incredibly strong, just looks bad. So yeah, just give us the hood on this one. But as you see there, it's just looking a bit there. It's very nice looking set. Of course, the sword and like dagger and bow are both literally just retextures of the Mystic set. Of course, the effects are different, but it's literally just the Mystic sword, Mystic dagger. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So pretty much in a second, I'm going to be going through all of the gear, looking at the stats, how I'd like to run it, and then we're going to have a little bit of gameplay at the end. And then of course, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a talk at the end of the gameplay, because it sort of highlighted a few issues I wanted to bring up. So yeah, catch you in a bit. Alright then, so we're going to get straight into a gear analysis of this set. So starting things off here, we have the brightlord sword. Maxed out level 80, 169 damage. Very, very solid. A design based on the sword carried by the brightlord, its basic description. As we see here, we get 10 wrath after performing an ice storm finisher. Not too bad, and a 40 health recovery on an execution. Of course, the second effect you can change, but you should get this. Like, it is confirmed. Like, when the developers were talking on live stream, they said the secondary effects were tied to the actual legendary gear set. So you should get this as your first one, but if you don't like health recovery, you can get something else. Moving on again, we have the brightlord's dagger. Of course, this is looking just like the mystic set. That's the same for the sword as well, if we look at that. Looking just like the mystic sword. But this one here, this one does 1300 damage. It's pretty good. And of course, this one, you gain 20 wrath when performing stealth kills on frozen enemies. This is incredibly situational. I think this is a pretty awful effect. Stealth kills on frozen enemies. So how are you going to freeze your opponent? Well, I think you're going to have to be in combat in order to do that. I guess if you terrify them and then freeze them, maybe you can do something there. I'm not really sure. But then, of course, you get quick throw applies frost every 20 seconds. That's very strong. Moving on, we have the brightlord's bow, level 80 again. Only 9 elf shots. I think this was a big, big, big problem here. Because this isn't even a longbow, and it only has 9 shots. Bruv, okay. You get charge headshots, freeze nearby enemies. That is the same for the hammer, if I get that up. The brightlord's hammer, here you go. I haven't bothered upgrading it, because it's literally the same thing. It just becomes a case of whether or not you want, the hammer or the bow. The hammer will do slightly more damage, and of course it damages areas in an effect. Like area of effect, rather. However, as you can see there, it's literally the same, and it has a few less shots. I just prefer bows in general. I mean, whatever. I think if they had animations that allows you to actually use the hammer in executions like they predicted you'd be able to do, then that'd be cool. But they don't, so whatever. Just stick with the bow. Moving on, we have the armor. And of course, we get gained 3 wrath when getting hit. Absolutely useless on higher difficulties because you get hit twice and you're dead. So 6 wrath, high quality meme right there. But 40% less damage from ranged attacks. Oh my god, this is beautiful. Hunters and archers are literally the bane of my existence whenever I'm playing on brutal difficulty. And so when you're able to literally take 40% less damage, that is an incredibly strong effect. However, you can get this secondary effect on any armor piece. So you could get it on the blood armor or the armor of war. And so therefore, I feel like this particular armor set or this armor is just a bit weak. It does look very cool though. Bear in mind, it's got like that purple and blue. Very nice. Moving on again, we have the brightlord's cloak, level 62 stealth. It's not, it's a bit naff really. But you gain 1 wrath when killing frozen enemies. That one's okay. And of course you get 15 focus recovery per kill. Very, very nice. And then finally we have the brightlord's rune, and that of course gives you another 1 wrath when killing frozen enemies and 15 health recovery, focus recovery rather. So really the cloak and the ring are the same thing. And as you see here, the legendary set bonus is gain wrath rather, 50% faster, but Elven Rage itself lasts half as long. And then of course, replenish your love shot when killing an enemy during Elven Rage. Like, that's just sort of a given, you're going to do that by default. This gear set overall focuses on, as you can tell there, a lot of wrath and frozen attacks, which is incredibly strong early game. I mean, like freezing, like the actual elements in the game is hit or miss. You can either use it on a captain and literally stun lock them permanently until they die, or they become immune to it and your entire build gets shut down. So early game it's incredibly strong. However, late game when captains have like 7+ immunities, 9 times out of 10 that one of those is going to be frost. And unfortunately that does shut down this playstyle a lot. However, frost is still very, very good for killing grunts. So even if your captain, even the captain you're fighting against, if he's immune to frost, if you can just use the Elven Light ability, attack plus throw on the freeze effects onto that, then you could just spam that over and over again and kill all of the grunts in your area, and gain insane amounts of wrath. And you can just absolutely destroy people. Of course, the ring wraith ability after Act 3 is nowhere near as good as Elder Rage in the early game. I'm so annoyed they don't give the option to just turn it back. It's like the ring wraith ability triggers me on like another level, because when you use it you can still be hit through the activation phase, and at the end it forces you to do a resurrection animation, which has killed me tons of times. I'm like it's very bad. I hate it so much. But in terms of an ability, it still does work. If you activate it, you just have to be very careful, especially on brutal difficulty, because you will just get instant killed. Overall, I would say this set is very, very strong, provided your captain isn't immune to frost. Literally, if you get a captain, you can just stun lock him permanently. Of course, you've got lots of focus recovery here, so that's very, very strong as well. So if you like using your bow skills, that's very good. And of course, because you're gaining so much wrath, you're able to take advantage of the set bonus 4 out of 4 and just get loads and loads of elf shots. So although the bow does only have 9 shots, I don't think that's really a problem when you're in game. Plus, you can take skills such as the perfect counter or the drain, both giving you elf shots. So I don't think it's a big, big problem. However, I will say that the sword is particularly weak. I think, although it is arguably stronger than, say, the armor, the thing is the sword is always a very dodgy choice, because when you can just go ya yeet and put on the humiliator sword, which gives you unlimited might, it becomes very hard to find something that can beat that. Of course, I could re-roll this secondary effect on Humiliator, so it effectively became the same sword, except I get the unlimited might. And so I will always run Humiliator when using this gear set. Of course, later in the series, when I cover other sets, I can tell you there is one in particular where I do actually prefer using the legendary sword over this one, but we'll get to that. The dagger, I think the dagger itself is just a bit too sort of situational. The quick throw is very, very useful though. So really, I would like to swap this out for the Blackguard dagger, because of course that will give me lots and lots of critical strikes. I love my critical hit damage increasing, but of course, once again, it's got increased stealth damage to enraged enemies, so it's sort of hit and miss again. The dagger effect seems to be very sort of situational. So if you want to keep that 20 wrath and keep the frozen stuff, then go with that. But I will say that keep the bow, cloak and ring are must-haves on this build. You get so much focus recovery, and the error effect freeze on just charged headshots is very strong. And as you see, we're getting 45 recovery from range attack hit in that situation, but then of course you get per kill on this one. But when you're late game, you still instant kill grunts with like an uncharged elf thing, so usually hit results in a kill anyway. But the point is the armor here is probably something you will want to switch out. So of course you can pick anything. The Servant's Blackguard's armor, you can't really go wrong with that. I mean, I don't really have a particular armor that I love using all of the time. Of course, once I've gone in and I've upgraded all this other sort of stuff, that may change. So of course, if you have like a really nice armor set you like using, maybe that's the Armor of War, although I hate the look of it, so the point is the armor, although it looks incredibly cool, is the weakest part of this set, and you will most likely want to swap out that, the sword, or the dagger. Though of course, you've got to keep that 4 out of 4 set bonus, so it's just talking about what you want to swap out. So, maybe you want to swap out the dagger and the armor, and you want to keep the sword. That's your personal choice. However, I just feel, personally, for my playstyle, Humiliator is too strong to just let that happen. Anyway, that is a quick analysis of all of the sort of effects associated with the brightlord set and how I would personally run it. Of course, I'm going to now playing a gameplay in the background with me just doing a siege using the skill set, and of course I'll have all of the frost abilities activated, so you'll just see my sort of build. In terms of skills, it's pretty much the same as my ultimate build, except you just swap out the elements so you have a lot more frost attacks. And effectively, I hope you enjoyed watching this. I'll come speak to you in a minute after the gameplay is finished, but for now, enjoy watching this siege with me absolutely destroying it using the brightlord set.
Scurry away while you still can, Gravewalker! Or did you not learn from your defeat here? Just 10 paces closer, fools! Then we'll unleash a wave of death and fire like you've never seen. All Mordor will shake as we crush you beneath our boots.
People I could have faced during this assault, it had to be you. Fine. Let's get this done with.
Cannot stand. I add you to my army.
Oh, that's it! Enough! Enough! I've had enough of you! I've had enough! Let's get this man! No, this can't be right. I'm supposed to be the one who kills you! You're all getting in my way! Move! Weapons up! Forward! You're not even trying! Seen that one already, mate! Slaughter him!
Did you want our fort? Is that what you wanted? Well, it looks like you're not getting it. And you never will.
Okay then, so that is the siege. I know, it's quite a short gameplay, 6 minutes. And that's that's before I've edited it down. As you see here, this gameplay highlights what is slightly wrong with this game. It's mainly down to the brutal difficulty, I will say, but as you saw there, we activated the ring wraith ability and got killed through it, and then I just didn't counter an attack against a grunt, and that resulted in my death. And really, this is the small issue with the game, and it's you have to grind up your own captains and stuff, which is where the most of the enjoyment's meant to be, but I just don't really have the time to sort of do that. And you can't really just walk into a fortress like I just tried to do there and just get away with that sort of thing. But the issue is that fortress assaults in general are just a bit too repetitive and a bit too grindy for my liking, and the enjoyment for the overall for this game is starting to dwindle out. It is a bit disappointing, I will say. Of course, maybe this time next week I feel much better. It might be just because I'm quite tired at the moment. But yeah, effectively, I hope you enjoyed watching that video. Hopefully you found that sort of overview of the armor interesting. And of course, leave your opinions down below. Do you think this armor set is good? Do you think it's trash? Do you think I'm trash because I died after like 6 minutes? And yeah, effectively, I've said what I need to say. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like and share with your friends. All the support is really appreciated on the channel. I'm really trying to push for that 1,000 subscriber milestone. I swear, if we can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the summer, that will be very lit, I must say. So if you just leave a subscribe and all that sort of stuff. Just realised that made no sense. You know what? It's cool. But yeah. Anyway, I hopefully have a video out tomorrow doing some more stuff. I'm not really sure what it's going to be yet. Of course, I'll just see on the initial response from this video. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Hope you all have a wonderful day. You can cue the music.